All right, so we've created a feed and we've added listeners inside Hello Audio. What I like to show here is some of the awesome, unique features to Hello Audio, like personalization. So, adding private listeners gives you access to who the person is, and we want to talk to them as an individual. And we can do that with things like the episode title, including the listener's name. So each listener will have a unique title based on who they are. So we could say something like, "Welcome to the private feed." So and so. So we'll do that with a little double bracket F name to throw in their first name. We could do L name for last name as well. So F name, and we want to put a fallback. So we'll put a little bar and say friend. If there's no first name information, we want it to say friend instead. So welcome to the private feed, so and so. So when I do this, I added myself earlier as a listener, and I should see my name updated in this field if I've added that information, which I've done. And so after I save that, it looks like this inside Hello Audio. But if I go to Google Podcasts and check what the title is, I should be able to refresh and see it say, "Welcome to the private feed, Derek." So it's showing my first name in the title of the episode. Now you can put it in the title of the feed as well, or you can put it in the show notes. So you can personalize the content to who they are as a person in different locations text-wise inside the feed. So that's some personalization stuff. What else can we do? We're trying to think of Hello Audio as not just a podcast hosting platform, but also a CRM, some sort of customer relationship management, maybe listener relationship management. And what that means is we want to be able to segment those listeners. So inside this episode, maybe I don't want everyone to have this. I only want people who have a certain tag, like purchased bonus. So if I create a tag inside Hello Audio, I can tag listeners as such, and then only those people with the tag will hear that episode. So this episode won't appear for somebody who doesn't have the tag purchased bonus. So maybe this is somebody who bought an upsell or something like that, and you want to give them some extra content for them to listen to. So you can segment them in that way. What else can we do? Not only can we segment the episodes themselves, but we can also decide who should and shouldn't hear dynamic content. And what that means is we're able to add inside Hello Audio at the beginning or at the end of each episode in this feed a little pre-roll or post-roll, a little snippet. Maybe it's an ad spot for something you're offering. So this is maybe a feed for a course and you want to sell your private coaching services, something like that. You can put an ad spot that shows for those people only. If you want to turn it on and say only the people who say, not yet in coaching, something like that. And then people who have that tag will be shown this, but people who don't have that tag won't hear that content. And then you can do things like schedule it, like maybe you're running a promotion for the month of March. You can say, okay, this starts on March 1st, and then maybe it'll end on March 31st. And outside of those dates, I don't want anyone to hear this content. So you can drag and drop some pre-roll, post-roll, stitch it all together, say save and apply the dynamic content, and it'll redo the feed for you. And any time in the month of March, those people will hear that content if they have that tag. And if it's outside of March, or if they don't have that tag, they won't hear that content. And you can have up to 3 spots inside a feed, and it'll play at the beginning and the end of every episode. I'm not going to do that here. I'm just going to turn it off. But that's available to feeds inside Hello Audio, and another way to personalize and segment your listeners. What else can you do? So with this tagging, like I said, you can add tags manually. You can go in and type a tag on a person's name. So let's go ahead and see what mine looks like here. So I have been added to this feed. I have this tag. I have some personal details, which you can add automatically using Zapier if you like. And then we also have an event log running for these, for me as a listener, what I've done and what I've listened to. So what you might notice also over here is something called a super listener score. So super listener score is something we ascribe to people based on how much they're consuming of the content and how quickly. So every time an episode goes out, if somebody hits play within, very quickly, that number is going to start going up, approaching 100. So as you release more and more content, as they listen to it right away, that tells you they're really interested in your audio and you want to know who that person is and do something about it. So what can we do? We've built out a tool in Actions, which has a whole bunch of capabilities, one of which is when the super listener score exceeds something. And each feed has a different score for the person. So you can say, okay, I want to know when the person has gone over 50, or maybe even gone over 90. They're a super hot lead. let me know, send me an email about this person. So you can customize the email that's sent to you. And so that'll let you know that, hey, somebody's gone over 90 and I want to know who it is. And you can send yourself an email to let you know. What else can we do inside actions? You can do things like when somebody subscribes to the feed, send me an email. I would like to know that. That means they've been invited and they actually hit subscribe, and then they can send you an email. We can also get a notification when they download a specific episode, but maybe you don't want to just get emails every time somebody downloads. That's kind of annoying. Let's say you'd rather gift them another feed. So when they download the last episode, I would like to add them to a different feed. And then you can decide if you send them an email or not. Or maybe you want to tag them, finish the feed, something like that. And so once they download the that last episode of that feed, they're going to get tagged finish feed. You could also do things like the more generic stuff like post to a webhook. So if you have an external tool and you have a little bit of developer chops, you can communicate to things like ActiveCampaign or ConvertKit or Integrately, a whole bunch of different tools that can trigger things based on what happens inside Hello Audio and then build that out from here. It does take a little bit of developer skills, but it's a super powerful feature if you're interested in learning. So yes, we can customize content by changing the names of episodes and titles and show notes based on who the person is. We can go in and block content for only people with a certain tag so they can only listen to it if they have that tag. You can add dynamic content and schedule it, segment it based on who the person is. And you can notify yourself and do all sorts of automations inside Hello Audio itself using actions. Super powerful tools. We hope you enjoy them. And if you have any questions, please let us know. Like always, by hitting the little chat bubble in the corner. Take care.